What's up, you guys? Welcome to V.S.O.P Sports Radio, where we only drink the finest of V.S.O.P cognac. I'm your host, Ryan, and today we're going to be discussing Anthony Davis and the fact that he needs to get the hell out of Los Angeles. But before we do that, if you guys can do me a favor and hit that like and subscribe button, because my philosophy is if you enjoy the vibe, why not like and subscribe? Now let's get into it. Anthony Davis arrived in LA in 2019 as part of a trade with the New Orleans Pelicans that sent all of the young promising stars off in exchange for a guy we thought was going to be the guy, an MVP candidate, someone we thought was going to be one of the greatest in the game. But what did the Los Angeles Lakers get? The Los Angeles Lakers got a guy who did help them win a championship, but in the bubble. Now, I'm not one of those people that say, oh, it's a bubble championship, it's a Mickey Mouse championship. I don't say that, but I do say that that championship, although they were the number one seed that year and it seemed like they were headed towards the promised land, COVID just threw everything off. And when everybody got sent to the bubble, it changed the dynamic of that championship. There was no celebration, no parade, no home crowds and this and that. And so the championship just felt different. But anyway, we all thought that was a telltale sign of things to come. We thought Anthony Davis was going to just continue to be a dominant force for the Lakers. But what happened? The very next season, he only plays 36 games. The season after that, he plays 40. And the season after that, he plays 56. Anthony Davis has not played a 60-game season since his first season with the Lakers. He is now in year 5. Anthony Davis now has a reputation of someone who is not reliable for the Lakers. He's been nicknamed Anthony Day-to-Day Davis, partly because he's always hurt, and another reason is because you don't know when he's going to show up. One day he'll ball out and everybody's talking about how great he is, and in the very next game, he'll just come out and play like a pedestrian. And nothing upsets the fans more than someone who is inconsistent. But one thing you can say he's consistent at is being inconsistent. Stephen A. Smith says he calls him a roller coaster because he's just up and down. You just never know what you're going to get with this dude. Anthony Davis is a guy who has no motor, no engine. Nothing seems to really drive him. And I'm starting to wonder, is it mental health related? Is there something going on behind the curtain that we don't know? Because I can't figure out how a guy who's making millions and millions of dollars, who just doesn't want to show up to work. Anthony Davis just recently signed one of the richest contracts in NBA history. I believe he is going to be making $62 million a season. There are NBA legends that didn't make $62 million in their career, and this guy is getting it for the season. You just can't count on him. You cannot count on Anthony Davis. And I'm going to tell you one thing that happened that I figure something's not right between him and LeBron James. When LeBron James was getting ready to break the scoring record, you can see the video. Everybody, the Lakers got the ball. Everybody's, anticipating it. Everybody's on their feet. Everybody's cheering. And what does Anthony Davis do? As everybody's getting hyped up, Anthony Davis just walks over to the bench and sits down, while everybody else is standing in anticipation of this record being broken. This is your boy. This is supposed to be your brother and all this stuff like that, y'all, But that was a glimpse to me that there's some fracturedness in there. Because if that's my boy and he about to break the record, I'm getting hyped. Anthony Davis sat his ass down. And when he broke the record, no emotion, not a fist pump, and his excuse was, we lost or some crap like that. I don't give a damn if you lost. Y'all was always losing. This was a moment that may not ever happen again. And you just gonna sit on the bench, emotionless for your boy. As you all know, last season, the Lakers had a tremendous turnaround season after they got rid of a few pieces. I'm not going to single anybody out, but they got rid of a few pieces and brought in some pieces that went on a run and took these guys to the Western Conference Championship. In that Western Conference Championship game, who did they run into? The Denver Nuggets. And let me tell you, the Denver Nuggets slapped them upside the head and swept their ass out the playoffs. We couldn't believe it. But one thing we could believe was Anthony Davis showing up one game and not showing up for the next. Showing up for one and not showing up for the next. Off season comes around not too long ago, a couple weeks back, media day, they're talking about, we hear them talking, we can't wait. Well, you got them opening night. They celebrated their championship in front of you guys after you guys got swept. They celebrated. They've got their rings, their banner, something Anthony Davis that you didn't even get. Well, actually, you did get to experience that. I'll take that back. Ring ceremony and everything. But did that ring ceremony happen in front of a full crowd? I cannot remember. Remember we were still dealing with, the pandemic. But I say all that to say, Anthony Davis, you guys should have, you specifically, actually you had 17 in the first half and you came out ready to rock. And then you go into the locker room at halftime and I guess you just decided, you know what? I showed up for the first half. Let me do what I do best and not show up for the second half. This is ridiculous. And I think it's time to get rid of this dude because he obviously he doesn't have the motor to compete with a Giannis. He doesn't have a motor to compete with Joel Embiid. He doesn't have a motor to compete with the Joker. And damn it, at this point, he probably doesn't even have a motor to compete with Dwight Howard. And he ain't even in the league. So you guys let me know what you think in the comments. Do you think it's time for Anthony Davis to go? And if so, where should he go? Because that's another question. I strongly believe he's from Chicago. They should send him off to Chicago for Zach LaVine and DeMar DeRozan. That's what I think they should do. Throwing another player in there to make the money match or whatever. But if I'm Chicago and I know that DeMar DeRozan and LaVine are probably going to leave, I would take that trade because Anthony Davis is under contract now for the next 4 or 5 years. So you guys tell me what you think because I'm pretty damn disgusted with Anthony Davis. And I know a lot of Laker fans are too. And on that note, thank you guys for tuning in to V.S.O.P Sports Radio, where we only drink the finest of cognacs. And I will see you guys next time. Peace.